I wonder what would happen if I took this here hunk of junk to Coda. It's like the most expensive track in Texas. And this is the cheapest track bike you could get. What could possibly go wrong?
Forget that I had a clapped out Honda CBR 600 F4i, because I almost forgot that I had a clapped out 600 F4i. But hey, what's better for a bike than not riding it for like 2 months and then turning it over and taking it straight to Redline for more or less 2 days straight? Seriously though, I bought this bike for $1,000. The most expensive thing that I put on it was a new set of tires. A buddy of mine on the Discord server sent me a clutch pack which I installed, as well as an RCS 19 master cylinder, but beyond that, this bike is stock, and it's probably older than your car. That makes it perfect for a track day at perhaps one of the most expensive racetracks in the United States. Circuit of the Americas is home to F1, MotoGP, and a few times a year, Ride Smart. Last time I was out riding with Ride Smart, I got promoted from novice to intermediate, and everything I've heard about riding with the intermediate group makes it sound like I'm about to ride the Fury Road, so let's go have some fun. Alright, well, we just got done with the safety rider's brief and then our intro course, and we're heading out on the track for our first session. Now, a couple of things to expect. So I was here yesterday, and that was just a shakedown day to make sure that the humble F4i over there is feeling good, and just to remind myself of the track. I didn't want to necessarily just give you like total raw riding, because that sucks. So yeah, I have ridden this bike out here today, and it is cold. So especially for the first few sessions, we're going to be going a little bit slower and then start picking it up a little bit later on. So let's get out on the track. All right, all geared up, and I actually lost a lot of weight lately, so my suit fits better. Now I'm gonna head down to the pit. You can hear the advanced guys going, I think. I think those are advanced. And we're out next. I'm gonna go grid up, and I'm gonna go stretch out in the grid. That really helped me out yesterday. So if it works, let's keep doing it. Well, first session out ended in a red flag. Guy lost it in turn 13, and I guess he wasn't able to get his bike going again, so they ended up red flagging the session. But session report for the first sighting session, everything was feeling really good. You know, track is cold, so I was going easy, but bike feels great this morning. Feels really good. It helps that yesterday I went and saw Roger from On-Road Off-Road, and he got my front end set up. But let me show you this. Okay, so this is my rear end, right? It's gonna be hard for me to show, but see how quick it rebounds? That is because I don't have any fluid in my rear shock. So it's not a shock, it's a spring. So yeah, my rear end is a pogo stick.
That's what she said.
So I'm just riding around it right now, and then when I'm done with it this weekend, I'll just pull it out, take it to Roger, and have him rebuild it. I got new suspension hardware that needs to go on the bike anyway. But let's head upstairs and go to class. Oh, top speed of 150, just in case anyone was curious. Indicated 150, so probably like 140. something like that.
I interrupt these epic montages of track day riding by one of the slowest people in the intermediate group to bring you a message from today's unlikely sponsor, DJI. I've been using DJI gear to film all of my videos for over 2 years now, and that is because they make the best and most reliable action cameras on the market. In fact, all of the forward-facing footage that you're seeing off the nose of my motorcycle was filmed on this DJI Action 5 Pro, but the pieces to camera where you're seeing me talk was filmed on this Pocket 3 right here. This little thing has become one of my mainstay cameras on the channel. They've got a wide suite of accessories, including these battery packs, which not only charge the camera's batteries, but you can use as a power brick to charge your phone or some other device, or the mic 2, which I'm currently talking to right now. But if you're out there trying to film your track days, I highly recommend picking up one of their Osmo action cameras, because this thing is a tank. Click that link down in the description below and check out everything they have to offer, and a huge shout out to DJI for sponsoring the channel.
Okay, class 2 done and dusted. We are officially allowed to pass now. Front straight and back straight only. So, you know, big bikes are gonna get ahead pretty easily. As far as passing goes today, I got no ego about this. Expect to see a lot of people going past me out of that front camera. Intermediate is a pretty wide skill set. There's a lot of guys who have done a gazillion track days, and there's a guy I was just talking to who's on his 3rd. I'm on my 5th or 6th. So there's a lot of different skill levels in intermediate, and that's what makes it interesting. Here there's like 60 bikes. There were 60 bikes yesterday. Feels like about the same size. So I will be passed. I may pass a couple of people, but y'all are gonna make fun of me because you're gonna see a lot of bikes go by, but you're not gonna hurt my feelings because I got no ego about it. I'm just here to learn. Session 2 in the books, and we're definitely feeling good out there. I think my problem now is, well, obviously I need to go faster, but a little bit of a stamina issue, especially on Kodo where the track is really long. I'm just wearing out, losing my focus, and missing my lines towards the end of the session. So next session, whenever I start missing some lines, I'm just gonna bring it back like 5 or 10% and get back on those lines and really focus on hitting the right spot. Okay, classroom session is done. The goal for session 3 now, the one I'm setting right now, is I want to make sure that when I'm going into the S's at turn 3, I'm not dipping into turn 3 early, because if I do that, I bust up the entire sector. So I'm not dipping into 3 until I get under the bridge. Everything else, it'll come. So, got a little bit of time to cool my heels and then heading back out. Well, session 3 ended a little early because we had a guy, red flag, spilled in turn 9. Yeah, turn 9. Just lost it right before 10. So they shut the session down. A bit of a bummer, but I will say that session wasn't super great, so I'm not too bummed to see it in the rear view. I tried something a little different in 19. Because everybody's been talking about how much faster it was than I think it is. So I tried to set up for it differently and didn't work, so I rolled off into the runoff and got back on the track. I think I target fixated, actually. I think that's probably what happened. But as for the goal of actually getting through the chicanes, I think I did a little better this time. When I watched the instructor, it felt like they were tipping in a little before the bridge and then really going for it under the bridge. So that's what I tried to do, and it felt good. It felt good, especially given little squirts of throttle between each one. So onward and upward. Yeah, so next session my goal is to be a little bit smoother. I'm thinking that I'm too tense, and that's kind of fucking me up in some of the corners. So I'm gonna try to loosen up a little bit, open my shoulders up, and lean further into some of these corners. At least lean me further in. I don't care how much of my tire gets used. Chicken strips are bullshit. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to lean deeper into the corners and carry a little bit more speed. So see how it goes. Well, session 4 in the books, it was interesting because they opened up passing, so kind of just everywhere, not quite, but in most places, and it felt like the entire session I was in traffic. I thought about pitting out at one point. Probably should have. If it happens again, I'm gonna pit out and just let them go by and see if I can get some clean track. But I did figure out 7. I hit 7 basically the way that I think it should be hit each time, which I guess means that I'm probably coming out of the chicanes right. So if I'm coming out of the chicanes right and hit 7 right, maybe I got the first sector. I think I'm still struggling with 1 though. I'm not looking deep enough through it. So, something to work on for next time. Class time. Alright, well, this one is probably going to be the most important session of the day because filming lap. One of the instructors, Dylan, walks up and tosses me this and he's like, we got some stuff to work on. So that'll be fun. One of the cool things is Dylan's actually riding a Moto America, Pan America, one of the Super Hooligan Pan Ams. So I was behind him for like a corner and I could smell nothing but race gas, which was fun. So I'm gonna get to follow a Moto America Pan America, at least for a lap, and then he's gonna follow me. And then he's probably gonna tap his tail and tell me to follow him through a bunch of stuff because I'm fucking up. So, but it's important for this one, stay out of my head. I'm not trying to show off. I'm just trying to show what I'm doing so that they can fix it. I gotta fix a lot of it. Let's get back out there.
right, guys, that is session 5 in the books, and I followed Dylan around, the guy on the Moto America Pan Am, and he told me as he was going around that he was going to do extremely exaggerated body position, and he wanted me to mimic it. Admittedly, I couldn't keep up with him, even, you know, I'm just cruising speed, but once I started exaggerating the body position, it made an instant difference. Going through the chicanes, I felt so much more in control. Going around 15 right before going into the carousel, and even into the carousel, frankly. But it made a huge difference. I'm so glad that he tossed me a jersey, because I seriously feel a big difference in that, just that one session alone. So now I'm gonna go back up to the classroom, and I'm gonna go back out for one more session, and I'm gonna exaggerate the fuck out of my body position. See how it feels. The bike felt so much lighter. Man, that was awesome. Well, sorry guys, it's super loud out here right now, but why is it always the last session of the season when you start putting things together? Because man, did that session feel good. I made a concerted effort as often as I could to literally pick my butt up, move it over, and then set it down. It's like a 3-step process. It definitely felt much better, and there were some times when I didn't do it. I felt how awful the bike handles when you do that, so I got an idea of how good it could be and how bad it was. So now I just need to remember that for next season, which starts I think in March. The Ride Smart folks are getting ready to release their 2025 calendar, so I'm gonna try to run the 600 as much as I can. But for now, let's hand it off to tomorrow's Spite for a damage report. Well, folks, time got away from me a little bit. It is now March, and that track day happened at the beginning of December. However, I will say that track day has been burned into my brain because it actually had a really profound effect on me. Once I got home from that track day, I have decided to pull this motorcycle from the insurance. It's no longer registered for the street. This thing is now my track bike, and that's part of the reason why it's up on stands. The other reason is because it's just easier to film. And yeah, it still has a kickstand. I'm still gonna leave the lights on it. I know it would save some weight, but that's not gonna make me any faster. What will make me faster is actual seat time. Even though I was in the very bottom of the intermediate group, it really felt like me and the motorcycle were clicking, and I finally understand how COTA works. Now, as far as a damage report goes on this motorcycle, this thing is in desperate need of some help, and it has been in desperate need since December. First and foremost, as I mentioned before, the rear shock on this thing is cooked. It is spent. Let me see if I can show it to you here on camera. I'm not sure if you saw how quickly that was rebounding. It ain't supposed to do that. Problem is, there is no fluid in that shock, so I have to have the whole thing completely rebuilt. But the beauty is, over on that shelf right there, I have a full Race Tech suspension kit that is gonna go into this motorcycle. I also have, that is a new fairing kit that is gonna go on this bike. And I know you're probably thinking, like me, that Repsol fairing went so well last time, why you got another one? Well, this company actually reached out to me and they're like, we saw your other video. Those fairings were terrible. You wanna try a set of ours? I was like, yes, please. This time I requested a set of replacement blue fairings just so it would be a little bit easier and I wouldn't have to deal with a tank cover. And I gotta say, just holding this in my hand, this bike is gonna look so good with these fairings on here. So stay tuned. I am very excited to get these on. These are really well done. But more importantly, the thing that I've realized is that this bike doesn't need me to do anything to it beyond fixing the suspension. The fairings, that's a vanity thing. Everything that's on this motorcycle right now is working exactly the way that I would want it to. It feels so good on the side of the tire. It is so composed. It's so happy going fast. And I think that's the thing that impresses me the most about this thing. It's almost 20 years old, and yet it still just keeps on ticking at the top of the rev limiter. It is a ton of fun to ride. And it just goes to show you, you don't have to spend a lot of cash to go have a lot of fun. But I have a new project behind the scenes, a second motorcycle that will be attending a track day in the middle of April. And I am calling it the EVO-RR. Just you wait, that's gonna be a good one. Sorry it took me so long to get this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it and maybe enjoyed a little bit of Christmas in March. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.